Welcome back to the Teams Insider podcast. This week we are talking to Damian at BSI about their new office in London, actually where we're going to host the next London user group as well. And he talks about the technology decisions they made, which Microsoft Teams rooms, why those decisions were made. Really great insights. Many thanks to Damian for jumping on the podcast. He's a regular in the community. And also many thanks to Jabra for all their support of the community. Really appreciate their support of the podcast. On with the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Really excited to have yet another customer story on the pod. And this is a particularly interesting one, a very impressive brand new building that actually we're going to have our next London user group in as well. So for those of you in the UK who come to user group, you get to see some of this in person. Damien, do you just want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Cheers, Tom. Thanks for having me back. And thankfully this time my background's slightly more acceptable than it was the last time when I was having a house rebuild. So my name's Damien. I work for the British Standards Institution, or BSI, if you want to call it a simpler way. And I'm pretty much the lead for everything Teams. Teams Phone, if it's got Teams in it, Teams Room, Teams Phone, Teams. So yeah, and pretty much been
Teams user adoption videos. I learned
Teams user, yeah. I'm so glad those Teams user adoption videos. I've put them together in the last couple of days. We've just launched our 5th year of our our digital champions program, and on the 5th year launch, one of the what would you call them, the lead that was running the 5-year launch said, has anyone got any training videos that they put together and like to share? And I said, yeah, there you go. It was just like as if I just made these videos. And so yeah, no, it's good.
Awesome. You and I could talk for ages on all manner of things, but I want to zero in on this new building and the kind of the experience you had. It's really interesting how with new buildings, it feels like IT/AV/ whoever owns that interaction collaborative experience is getting engaged earlier in the planning and design. There's still some friction there between kind of, I feel like, architects and HR and whoever else is involved in the building. But maybe you can take us back even before kind of what was the plan, when did you get involved, and where did you end up?
Yeah, I mean, we're going back probably a good 18 months back into the end of 2024 when I really started to get involved. But before that, there was working groups going on to look at where the new office is. And when IT started to become involved, it was very much like, oh, like what, what are these guys doing here, type of thing. And it took a good while to get the I don't know, the confidence or like the ear of the right people within that senior stakeholder group of the office move, because they were very precious about it. They'd been working on it for way longer than I had been.
Yeah.
They had chosen the building. They'd done all the furnishings and all of that. And then I'm coming in and going, hey, what about this? And what about this? And we could do this and do that. And they're like, wow, hang on, just ease up. But we were going from a very, I want to say, I don't want to use the wrong word, but antiquated. It was very multiple wires to plug into, projectors. We had very few Teams rooms that anyone really got in. If we had a Teams room, it was more an exec room or more of a, not many people got their hands on Teams rooms. So when we came to the Acre, and every single room has got an element of Teams, whether that's BYOD or full Teams rooms, the fact that people were walking into that new space gave us the ability to really push the boundaries, because they had no preconception of what it would be to come into a new space. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. You could start again with what was the ideal scenario, and you've done some really
completely
interesting things.
Forget what was going on at the old office, people. Here's the new world. And one of the real big challenges and one of the big call outs from the requirements was no cables. Like, we don't want like if it's a really nice. I mean, you've been there, Tom, and come and seen it once before, but people who come in on 15th of May, it's a clean off. It's a very
It's super
clean.
clean.
Yeah,
Yeah, really, really feels stylized and like smart and neat
yeah.
and
Um,
yeah.
You look at the size of some of the rooms we've got and the dynamics of the rooms. We've got rooms that can take 20, 30 people, and you don't really want a cable being strewn across. I mean, in the old office, I was forever the people like, oh, this HDMI cable's broken. Yeah, because people just grab hold of it and pull it, or they pull it out, they want to take over the share, so they reach over and pull it out of someone's laptop. Uh, and that's gone. We haven't had today, we haven't had to replace a cable because there are no cables that users can get their hands on.
But
Um,
give people a feel for, because it's quite a big building.
mhm.
How many rooms and what different types of rooms did you have? I know you've got divisible, you've got kind of huddle type experiences.
Yeah, so we'll start with the smaller rooms. We've got a terminology called hot offices, which are basically dual screens at a desk with a desk setting, and then a small round table in front of a TV. That round table has a cord, USB-C cord. It's the only cable you'll probably get hold of. You plug that cable in, and that becomes your BYOD meeting within that. Works really well. We've registered all of the BYOD, the Jabra PanaCast bars into the Pro Portal. So automatically, the laptop automatically goes, you're connecting to this, so I'm just going to jump into that shared screen
So
mode.
PanaCast 50 bars,
Yep,
USB-C, BYD.
yep. Just jump straight in. No one really needs to do anything because as soon as you plug it in, your laptop automatically detects it and goes, right, I know what I'm doing. I'm putting it into this mode. Those work really well. Then we've got one room that was sort of my room. It was really weird. I kept on, I guess I was just being a real pain and getting to the point where the senior stakeholders said, just have one room. Just have that room, do what you want in it. But if it's wrong, it's your room.
Yeah,
It was like, no pressure here, folks.
yeah.
So we've got an eBall Pro on the wall, on an adaptive mount on the wall, so it can slide up and down. It's a very casual kind of room. It's got just sofas and chairs and little like tub stools that you can sit on.
So it's the neat board on those kind of like on the grey backing
It's
up
not
down
on the
thing,
it's
that
not
one?
on the adaptive stand. It's on the adaptive wall mount, so it
Ah, okay.
slides up and down on the wall,
Oh, nice.
and
Interesting.
that works. That's really popular. Um, More popular than anyone anticipated, really. And then we've got some just medium-sized rooms, just Panacast again, running on Windows MTR. They're straight kind of standard size rooms, and then we go up into, I guess, medium large rooms. You can sort of call them that. They're rooms that are just out of reach of what the Panacast or any of those type devices can do due to the ceiling height. Because we've got unfinished ceilings, so it's all very much industrial type ceilings. So we've had to put like Huddley cameras in there with uplifted Q-SYS audio. So we have to just give it a bit more than what you would necessarily have straight out of the box if you're just going to do like an Express or whatever, just
Yeah.
standard. It's a little bit, it's a hybrid type room. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full Q-SYS ACPR rooms, with 3 of those rooms that are divisible into multiple different settings. And there's a lot of cameras in that space for all of those possible settings, like standard meeting settings, small town halls, medium town halls, large town halls. And then we've also then just gone and taken on, it's now called Vision Suite, but we've taken it's the old name for it was Sear Vision with Q-SYS, which allows, once you stand in a zone, so you stand in a specific zone and it picks up your body schematics or whatever you call it, and if you walk across from out of where you're standing, the camera will zoom in and pan on you and follow you across. So we've got some senior execs who like to roam. They don't like to stand at a lectern and I'm here and I'm just going to. They want to roam off, and that gives it gives them the confidence they can roam, knowing that the camera's on me and it's going to follow me. But also from an end user perspective, the end user doesn't have to look at a really wide shot of the room to allow them to roam. They can be quite niche and quite cut in on the shot and know that they're still going to get that same shot all the time.
That's
so
awesome.
We've got the full range of everything.
Yeah, you've really got everything going on. You've kind of got BYOD, albeit registered to Teams. You've then got like the boards with the up-down motion for kind of like an easy room into kind of a semi-complicated room with the Huddly and the Q-SYS audio into the full big boy Q-SYS multi-camera, divisible, tracking, everything. So, like, I mean, it's probably a longer conversation, but like, how did you come to assess Jabra for this scenario, Neat for that scenario, Q-SYS for that scenario? Because I know you did quite a lot of research on different options.
We did a lot of research. So early days, because we knew we were leaving we were exiting the old building. It was right. Get stuff in now. Get stuff to get proof of concepts in. We threw it in, and as soon as we put one of the PanaCasts into one of the rooms for 4 or 5 weeks, and we took it away, and people were complaining because
that's like the best signal you can get from the business.
It was the best thing. So there was an email I remember you getting from our facilities lead and said that bar that we had proof of concept that's now gone back. Can we get one? I was like, because we had there was no easy out of the box. It was very much old school. You had a screen and you could replicate your screen up, and if you wanted a meeting, everyone sat around us. There was no audio, there was nothing. So as soon as that came in, people were like, this is brilliant. So we just used that ability and space that we had in the old office to just proof of concept bits and pieces. We got a Neatboard Pro delivered for an event, which was like a showcase event for moving to the Acre. That was there, people could see that. We got you can see it behind me, the Logi panels. So we had one of that. We had that panel operating there, so people could operate the panel with the board, and they could see how it would all link up. So it's just a matter of choosing the right tool for the right space. And there was a journey that we went on with being able to really home in on what we needed.
That's really cool. And how the multi-camera divisible, that's harder to test, right? So like, how did that come about?
That was very much it was very fraught at the end of it, because the as all builds do, they come up against snags and delays. So we had scheduled in a good 2 weeks of completely clear, no noise, no dust, no disturb, just completely clear. Those 2 weeks just got sucked up near the end of the project, to which I had about 2 days of just clear space. It wasn't enough. 2 weeks was what we were aiming for, and I got 2 days at best. So it was accepted that it wasn't going to be perfect on day one. And as we've gone on and we've been in the site now 6 months, it's grown and it's matured. And like we were saying at the top of the call, my video kind of blogs that I've put together have helped people understand how to use a Q-SYS, a Crestron Air Media Park. So yeah, we've grown into, we always knew we weren't going to walk in on day one, it was going to be perfect. We had to evolve into where we needed to be.
So what do you do for room booking?
So room booking, we were using the matrix booking system in the old office, and we've got matrix across multiple offices at the moment. So where we're working with that is we're using the matrix system for desk bookings, room bookings, any bookings within the office space goes through matrix. That will then API across into O365. So every panel, every room has its own device associated to it. So if it's a, let's say it's a room's got a pro account, so that's fine. But
Yep.
then if it's a let's say a hot office, or we've got parenting spaces, multi-faith spaces where people can book out. Those have all got panels there. Those panels have all got a shared device license against those panels, just because we need that. So you essentially then get you book it into Matrix, it then appears on the panel, and it all works seamlessly together. You can still walk up and book it through. The only niggle I've got with that, and it's not a Logi thing, it's not a Matrix thing, it's when you do a walk up, there's no means of I'm walking up and it's booked as Damian Lewis. It's just reserved at shows up on the booking as reserved at the panel, or reserved
Okay, because obviously I guess it wouldn't know who you was, whereas
no.
In the Teams mode, we have that kind of push through to the Teams app, so it has a context of who you are.
Yeah. So if you scan the QR code, it would then go, oh, you're booking this as, yes, I know that. But if you just walk up and press the reserve button, it will reserve it itself. So roadmap wise, anyone's listening from the roadmap, just go reserve, and then who are you reserving this as? I'm reserving it as Damian Lewis.
Yeah, it could just prompt you for a name.
Just prompt you with the gal. Just give me the gal. Oh, that's me. I'm booking it. It's only going to take the user another 20, 30 seconds, but then you get that consistency of who's booked that space, because it then flows back into the mailbox, flows back into Matrix. The whole end to end works. Because if you work it the other way, if you book it in Matrix, it knows who I am. So that would just be a really useful add-on if that could happen, please, product managers within Microsoft.
Few people listening, so maybe maybe someone will hear it. Nice. And do you go into any of you mentioned you registered the BYOD rooms in Pro Portal. Do you use the utilization stats to understand who's using what, and have you learned anything between the different types of rooms?
No, not. I haven't looked, to be fair. It's something now you've mentioned it, you've probably shown me up here, because I think, oh no, I should really be looking now.
Well, it's kind of a new capability, isn't it? Obviously, you've got the calendars, so you can see the rooms being booked.
Oh, you can see the room utilization, yeah. But I don't think it's something I've ever really gone back and thought. So next time in the Pro Portal, I'll be
next podcast.
Next podcast. Yeah, we've been speaking to pods. The only thing we do, we have got. It's not AV, but we have got they're called pods. They're Framery pods, and they're really popular. They're more popular than we thought it would be. So one person in the phone box type style pods, and they're always being used. Really popular. So that's something that plays back the telemetry to a central portal, and you can see the utilization on those.
Nice.
And some people are using them up until 6, 7 in the evening. So it's good now. You can see the bigger picture and you start to see what's popular and what works really well.
Nice. And kind of going back to that journey story, now we've got context of the space and everything you've done. What would you say is some good lessons or thoughts for people listening into the pod that are on that new build journey, maybe at different stages?
If we used a group of people, they were known as the influencers. They were kind of the building champions. If there was people that were um, were brought in to really engage colleagues to bring them on the journey as well. So they were there on the first day we opened. It was the influencers in the working group which came in, and they then became the trainer. So they got training on day one, and then that training then carried on. So it just proliferated down through all of the colleagues, and they could just say, right, okay, this is how you use this. So we had a building induction. So it was an online building induction, which gave people a guide of how to use the equipment. And then over the first 6 months, I was running every 2 weeks. I stole the ask me anything phrase from Graham and yourself. So I'd literally have an AV ask me anything, where people could just come along and ask the silliest, craziest question ever, and they go, "Oh, right, I know the answer." Like, and they would that just built up. So it's just the engagement with everyone as they come in and they start to learn that new space was key. And then we learned that so we learned it for the Covent Garden, the Acre, London HQ. We then deployed the same process for our North America office, which went live start of the year, so end of December, start of January. Same, it worked. What worked well in one place worked equally well in the next. So yeah, it's a lot of effort, but once you've gone through that initial high demand of getting everyone through the door, everyone trained, everyone comfortable.
Yeah, because you were giving a lot of new capabilities as well. To your point, weren't you? Like Dave can do everything a Teams room could do now, which they
Yes.
didn't have those
Yeah.
capabilities.
So yeah, it's just taken a little bit of re-education, because it was a jump from very non-Teams-centric environment to a fully functional environment. And it took people, some people got it straight away, some people just took a little longer to accept it.
Yeah, there's a lot of muscle memory there. I think that's interesting is some people might come into that office fairly regularly, probably some less often. So you did the induction in January, you're back in late Feb, and you need to do a meeting and you've got 5 minutes to go. I know how to plug in. I can't quite remember, like that getting over that hump, I think, is interesting.
And I guess you learn as well. So we've got an office in Milton Keynes, and they've just inherited a Surface Hub that was used at an office that we've just closed down. But they've got not a very Teams-centric meeting space. So I've now got to think, right, okay, this Surface Hub is going into a room that people have been using for a long time. How do I best get that in there with the least amount of disruption, but the most amount of impact, so that people embrace it and go, right, I've got it? Because currently they've got a screen on the wall and an HDMI cable which comes up to the desk, and they just plug in and they just share up to the screen. I'm now thinking, okay, I can't just go and just put that in there and expect it's going to work. We need to go through the same user experience, buy-in, adoption as we in a smaller scale than what we did on a larger scale for the other offices.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Because when you get a brand new office, you're kind of like part of the associated budget and implementation is like, we're going to need to do that. But actually, when you're swapping out gear in an existing office, like, it's harder to make that time. And like, you wouldn't have, like you said, I assume everybody who came to that building got some kind of whiz bang induction tour because it's super impressive. It's the new HQ. But if you're just swapping out 3 rooms in an existing building, you wouldn't do the same thing necessarily.
No. Yeah, you've got to scale it correctly. But equally, if it's not done right, it will end up people hating it, and it's not the device's fault. It's just the way that it's been handled and put in.
And what does your operational model look like? Because you've got quite a lot going on there. Is that all in-house? Do you have a partner who does some of the ops? And what's that look like?
So it's all in-house. So we cover meeting room wise. We're covering from Sydney, all through the APACs, all through EMEA, and into North America. Not as far as well, I guess as far as San Jose, because I've got some just audio only Teams device out in San Jose. So I've got a fairly wide and vast footprint of devices, and then all of I've got local, so I've got APAC and EMEA and got AMAS local IT teams. They then effectively pick up the front of the first call, and if they can't then resolve it, it's then escalated up. So yeah, and ProPortal does the majority of it for us anyway.
That's what I was going to ask, is what's the mix of OEM tooling versus ProPortal?
Yeah, so the ProPortal does the majority of it. Every now and again, ProPortal doesn't cover it all, and some of the OEM reporting picks up on it. When ProPortal's saying it's fine, and the OEM's going, no, it's not. And you go in there, and you go into. We had one in Milton Keynes the other day, and it's like ProPortal says it's right, but the OEM alerting says it's completely offline, and technician goes into the room and says, yeah, it's completely offline, but Pro was saying it's fine. So there's a balance between having just relying solely on Pro and then getting the more detailed analytics you'll get from an OEM.
That's good to know. Awesome. Well, Damien, thanks for taking us through that journey story. Like, I feel like we need to have a different conversation on divisible at some point, because that feels like it's a hot topic. So maybe we'll do something special on divisible and multi-camera at some point.
Yep. We can always come into the Acre and do it there. So yeah, that works.
Great. Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
thank you, Tom.
Thanks for the time, and looking forward to having you speak at the user group. So that'll be really good.